Howdy, folks. I'm a rocking American Robin, robustly rifling through rough roots.
I'm Amber.
And here are more rough roots for us to rifle through. Where's my roots, Amber?
In the ground.
I'm going to go start digging them up. Let's get started! Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I the Jerk for Telling My Parents that if they don't come to my wedding, then I will never speak to them again? For a little context, I'm a 23-year-old male and I was always the disappointment child. My younger sister, a 20-year-old female, Gigi, was always the favorite as soon as she was born. My parents, Julia, a 46-year-old female, and Harris, a 48-year-old male, always favored Gigi as she was a girl, and a week before Gigi was born, my grandmother, Gianna, passed away, so my mom named Gigi in honor of my grandmother. The problem here is that my parents always favored Gigi, no matter what. And I was always the disappointment growing up, which resulted in me and my family not being close. Now my fiancé, soon-to-be wife, my beautiful Remy, 22-year-old female, are having our wedding next week, January 8th. I proposed to her late 2022 and my family were supportive. We were planning our wedding the whole of 2023 and are very excited about this. We planned the date on September 2023. We invited everybody, chose the food, outfits, and everything that we needed for the wedding. The date was perfect for everyone, and we planned it with Remy's family, who lives in France. The problem is that last week, Gigi was arrested from a DUI, drinking under the influence, and she got a month in jail. Of course, my family is on Gigi's side, saying that it's unfair and that she's only a kid. I personally disagree. Gigi is 20 years old, and she's an adult, and this sentence could be thinking time for her to start sorting herself out, as she could have gotten killed or someone else. As she's in jail for a month, obviously she won't be able to attend my wedding, which I was kind of bummed about, as she is my sister and I would have loved to have her on my special day. However, my parents said that it's unfair that I should have my wedding while she's in jail, and that I should change it so that she can go. I discussed this with Remy, but we both agree it's far too late and the family has already booked their tickets to come and see the wedding. We also agreed that this is unfair to cancel on around 40 people just because of one person, and it would be too much stress and panic. I told my family this, and they said that I was being rude, and that they wouldn't come without my sister. So I told them, don't speak to me again if you're not going to be supportive of me. I told my family that they were always favoring Gigi, and it's cruel of them to never be there for me. We had a lot of arguing, and that's when I said, if you don't come to my wedding, then don't come and bother me ever again, and I will never speak to them again. I feel like I overreacted. I got a lot of angry texts from them, and even some aunts and uncles. However, this hurts as my sister has an excuse not to come, but they all have none. And this is how it's been all of my life. And this was the one time that they could have showed me that they loved me. Alright, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. I mean, sometimes, unfortunately, people can't be at a wedding for one reason or another, and the show must go on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, unless it's the bride or groom or someone else who is
Yeah.
instrumental to the wedding. As OP pointed out, like, they have travel accommodations, everything arranged for all these people, and it's too much of a headache, logistical headache, to cancel, not to mention, like, lost vendor fees and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think OP is in the wrong for continuing with the wedding and for expecting the family to be there.
Yeah. So I think that if they really want this, OP should be like, well, if you refund all of the tickets and all of the expenses and all of this other stuff, then I'll maybe consider it. But the absurd thing is that who's going to have to flip the bill, right? Mm-hmm. The family that's traveling is going to have to flip the bill. OP and their fiance are going to have to flip the bill. But do they have any of these expenses to pay? No. Like, a wedding is not a small event. It takes a lot of time, planning, and effort. And while it's unfortunate that OP's sister can't be there, hopefully she gets the message that, you know, there are consequences for your actions. Like, she's going to miss out on his wedding because she did something dumb. And hopefully this gets her to realize that she can't be doing these kinds of things. It's just a very unfortunate situation, and I really do hope that OP, you know, you have the support of your family, but if not, then you'll have the support of your new family, and that's really what it's going to boil down to. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Yelling at My Sister to Stop Blaming Our Brother for Her Husband's Cheating with His Wife? This past summer, I'm a 29-year-old female, and my family had the shock of a lifetime. We found out that my older sister, Kayla, a 32-year-old female's husband, Eric, a 34-year-old male, was cheating on her with our brother, Greg's, a 35-year-old male's wife, Megan, a 30-year-old female. It was going on for a long time, and honestly baffling how they were able to keep us from it for so long. The incident has affected the whole family, with Kayla and Greg being especially hurt. They have both since divorced their spouses. For those wondering, from some mutual friends and stalking them on Facebook, I've learned that Eric and Megan have since moved off together across the country and are expecting a child this spring. The whole mess has our family in shambles. Nothing feels the same anymore, and every gathering that we have just feels awkward and depressing. Myself and our parents, a 60-year-old female and a 65-year-old male, are trying our best to keep everyone connected, but honestly feels like our efforts are in vain. This is somewhat because Kayla has partially been blaming Greg for what happened. She always says things like how he shouldn't have brought that promiscuous person into our house, and similar things. She has never said things to Greg, but says them to myself and our mother. She has just been acting cold and distant to him, while he's tried multiple times to reach out to her. So last night, we were all going to visit our parents for New Year's. Greg went out with our dad and some other people, so it was just Kayla, our mom, and myself at home. Kayla has also found out about Eric and Megan starting a family, and she has been equally furious and depressed. She was again blaming Greg. This just seemed unfair to me, so I told Kayla that she needed to stop blaming Greg since he was a victim just like her, and instead blame Megan and her promiscuous ex-husband. Kayla was angry and yelled at me, saying things like how I couldn't understand and that I was emphasizing with Megan. We argued, and it did turn into a bit of a screaming match because I lost my temper at these accusations, but we stopped when our mother started crying and begged us to stop. Kayla has been cold to me since last night, and our mother wants me to reach out to her since she's hurting so much. I do feel like a bit of a jerk, but I just also feel justified. All I can say is that I really wish that we weren't in this mess. Am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think?
No, I don't think OP is in the wrong here. I mean, Kayla is blaming the wrong person. Greg did not have a hand in the affair in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
There were two people involved. They are the only people who deserve blame.
Mm-hmm.
And they deserve equal blame. It seems like she wants to leave her ex-husband blameless, but he was an equal party in this. He owns that responsibility. And probably she would benefit first from some therapy because the way things are going right now, it's not a good place.
Yeah, it seems like she is scapegoating a lot of people. Like, she's not blaming her husband or her ex-husband. She's blaming her brother and she's blaming the other woman and whatnot. But she really needs to take a long look at and reflect on exactly what this means, right? Because, like, he has a choice. It wasn't like she brainwashed him and then stole him away, right? So I feel bad for her in the respect that she's hurting, but she's taking out her anger on the wrong person. Really, she needs to take her blame out on her ex and the other person, Megan, right? And I just think that this is one of those situations where she's just going to need time and therapy. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I have some tea right here, and Amber has a joke.
What movie theater treat do dogs love?
Oh, I think that dogs, they probably would take, like, those milk bones to the theater, and then that would be their movie theater equivalent of, like, Twizzlers.
Popcorn.
Popcorn? Is that... No, we're not going to go there.
We're not going there. It's just popcorn for dogs, that's all.
And I have Mega Mint. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Tuesday, spelled T-W-O. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it in the form of a RSVP sent from jail.
I don't see how I can do moral advice or guidance from that. I mean, I guess don't drink and drive. Maybe she learned her lesson and
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sorry, I can't attend your wedding. I'll be in jail. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Howdy, folks. I'm a rocking American Robin. What is a Robin? It's like a robot Robin.